What is up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, being subbed. If you're not, hit the button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit the like. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into this beautifully honest reaction. All right. Listen, I could purely be speculating, but I don't really think this is a coincidence. And based on what recently went down on TGIF on Fox Soul, I kind of feel like maybe this is the reason behind this hiatus, even though they claim, oh, they were about to go on vacation or break anyway. But why have the hiatus and right before they were about to go on a vacation break if nothing was really going down besides Al taking a, few days off for his mental health or whatever the case is? I don't know. But Al, he has his own YouTube channel and he's been doing more things on his YouTube channel now. And also, I kind of find it ironic that he's doing things in a way where it kind of makes it look like he's riding on his ex-wife Star Jones's coattails, because she is an attorney and she has a judge show. So him doing this judge stint thingy on his YouTube channel now, where he's sitting with the background like he is in a courtroom and he's got on a black robe and he calls it Court of Public Opinion, which is a cute play on words. I mean, it is cute, it makes sense, all of that good stuff. But for someone who doesn't really want to talk much about his ex-wife and he wants to respect her marriage and all that other stuff, it's like, why do this? It's not like he used to be an attorney and he has any connection to the courtroom besides having an ex-wife who was an attorney and is currently doing a court show type of thing. It just looks weird to me. But he had 3 attorneys on his show, and this is not my first time talking about something where he did this before, because he did one before where I talked about how a couple of the attorneys that he had on his panel were discussing the Martell Hotel Holt from Love and Marriage Huntsville's court case and some things, allegations, and court records that came out with regards to the children. But anyway, I want to play some clips and give my reaction to it as it goes along, because I don't think this was a coincidence, even though I do believe he prepares and plans his shows and it's not just a spur of the moment thing. But at any rate, let's just go ahead and get into it.
Boy meme from ATL. I know that ain't who I think it is.
I know I think it is. Anyway, let's move it on along. All right, next up, everybody, Megan Thee Stallion, you have landed in the court of public opinion. And tonight, they're saying you are being accused of creating a hostile work environment. All right, Attorney Redwine, please tell me, what exactly is a hostile work environment?
Pause. Pause. Now, okay, the story might be about Megan Thee Stallion, but is this a coincidence that he's talking about this story and a hostile work environment with these attorneys on the panel? Because he might have insinuated, as well as some other people, that Armand Wiggins has created a hostile work environment, and maybe he might even be insinuating that about Claudia. I don't know.
Absolutely. So a hostile work environment, and I've got this here in front of you because we're going to be very specific. We're going to run it down, okay? Because I'm the queen. I have survived many a hostile work environment. If you've ever worked at a Manhattan law firm, so have you. All right, a hostile work environment is a work environment claim that's a type of workplace discrimination claim. And to establish the claim, you're generally showing you were subjected to unwelcome conduct based on your membership in a protected class. That conduct must be severe and what's called pervasive. And basically, some of the examples would be sexual harassment, threats, bullying.
Pause. She's going down this list of descriptions of what a hostile work environment is.
Racial slurs, gay slurs. It could also be workplace bullying. And if it's workplace bullying, here are the two most important things you got to show. For workplace bullying, you have to show that the behavior involves or is because of you being in a protected class or having a protected trait. I'm going to explain that. Okay. And that the behavior is either pervasive or severe. It can happen one time if it's severe enough. And a protected class includes your race, your gender identity, or your gender expression, and your sexual orientation, among others.
All right, so this is an expansive type of claim. So there are many ways that she can be attacked as far as what environment did she create. Okay, Attorney Williams, please tell me, how does an employer identify hostile work environment?
So it can be via HR complaints. It can be via if they're watching your email communications, which a lot of companies these days are. A lot of people have Slack, and they think Slack is the more informal way to communicate. Text messages that may be between coworkers. There are a lot of instances that I've seen at different jobs where we've had employees, they may go out to a happy hour, or they may have a wrap party right after a show ends. And they think that they're not in the workplace anymore, but they are. And sometimes someone may overhear something you've said. You could have said something on a recorded phone call. All of those things can get back to the company attorney, and then you're in hot water. I also just want to add, it doesn't have to just be your boss creating the hostile work environment, right? It could be anybody who works at the company. It could be your coworker. It could be the person under you.
Oops, coworkers.
Simply someone, like Attorney Redwine said, who is creating a hostile work environment based on your protected class.
That's very interesting. Attorney Ross, you're the criminal attorney here. So how does it happen? How do you create a hostile work environment claim? Is that a criminal case? What is that? How do you bring that forward past HR?
Well, a criminal case in a hostile work environment would be very, very rare. It would have to get to almost sexual harassment. I'm talking like physically touching, right? A battery, a rape, an assault, things of that nature was what you would see that in. But on the civil side, he's alleging that she called him a fat bee because he was eating while filming at the same time, and telling him, Jordan, telling him that you don't need to eat while filming at the same time. So we're going to assume that Jordan is laughing at the alleged statement, how preposterous it would be. And so I think that she has a lot of answers to come to. Please do not ignore this lawsuit. You cannot call people fat bees. And there's also an allegation that she was having intercourse in a car, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
With a woman.
While he was filming, and he couldn't get out of the car, right? So he had to get out of the car.
He was
all by his head.
He was
trapped right here.
He was trapped in the car while they were having sex. He couldn't open the door.
His car was moving.
That's hostile. That is pervasive.
Okay, I got it. So if I understand you, counselors, you're saying he has more than just one claim, because multiple things have happened, so he can address multiple things that put him or created the hostile work environment. Is that what I'm hearing?
Absolutely.
Correct. Because, for example, a lot of times one of the claims that people may have is you go to HR and you complain, right, about the hostile work environment. That's always step one. Step one is you want to document it.
Right.
What I did when I had my situation is I would be on my work computer and I'd email my personal computer each time I had an incident that occurred. Because one of the things that could happen is that any time you could get terminated, which could be called retaliation, and you won't have access to your system. But the second thing is you want to make sure you notify HR so that you cannot be retaliated against, or if you are, you have recourse. Retaliation is when your coworkers or perhaps your boss begins to do things to penalize you. It could be taking away a coveted position or role or assignment. You're a writer. It could be you have an article that's really good, or you have a segment and that gets taken away and reassigned. That be an example of retaliation. It could be demoting you from one role to another less coveted position. So you have to watch out for those things. And then you have to, the procedure that's generally done to vindicate or to confirm or deny is you want to request an investigation.
All right. So, you know, the things that Attorney Simone Redwine was saying, to me, it sounds like it's possible that these may be grievances that Al could have possibly brought up to HR, not just about Armand, you know, solely and individually, but as a whole, the whole, you know, set being hostile. Because the fact that he reached out to someone that is no longer a part of the cast, even though he said, and he made it known that he considers Funky Dineva a friend and he's still friends with Funky Dineva. And right after that happened, he called Funky to go off about the situation. It sounds like that might have been his next step, because I just don't think this hiatus that the show is on is by a coincidence or a chance. And then he's talking about this subject on his YouTube channel. And also he has been doing more on his YouTube channel lately. He really has. Whereas almost immediately after Armand made the announcement that he was the new co-host on TGIF, which I wasn't aware this happened, but my friend client, she told me that it happened, that he put a lot of his content on either private or took it down or whatever, or maybe behind a paywall or membership. I don't know, because I'm not a member to his channel. So I was shocked by that. I was like, why would he do that? Because I felt like more of his stuff would probably get viewed, being that he's now being presented to more people than had already known about him. So, listen, I don't know, guys, but I'm just saying it possibly could be a coincidence, but I don't really think that it is.
Okay.
Wow.
Those are critical. One of the best examples is Real Housewives. Remember when in Real Housewives of New York, Ebony K. Williams made the claims of racism, and that the racism had created a hostile work environment. Once you request an investigation, what happens is they no longer can put you in an environment with the person or persons that are creating the hostile environment.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen, right? And that's why, remember, we never had a reunion. We never had a reunion for that season. That's because they had the investigation. The investigations found that certain things happen. And then you cannot force people to be around somebody that's creating a hostile environment. Same thing right now. We're hearing rumors about Kenya's case. Similar there.
So true. I will also say, very good point, Attorney Redwine. As soon as you put the company on notice by contacting HR, the company has to action upon that. Because if they don't, you may have not only a claim, against them for all the other stuff, but for negligence, for continuing to maintain the hostile environment. And I think that's what Megan is dealing with here. Her accuser is saying that the hostile work environment went on for a period of time.
Right.
Also saying he didn't get breaks and he wasn't compensated properly. So he's showing his pattern. But to Attorney Redwine's point, that's why it's so important. The point at which you put your company on notice that this is happening, they have this amount of time to get it together, to action on it, to make sure that they take your claim seriously, or they too can be on the hook legally.
All right. So listen, I am going to end it right there. There's more to it. I'll put the full link in the description box if you want to check it out. But listen, this could be related to a number of situations that they're talking about, and not just possibly Al. We could relate that to Kenya and Britt and the Real Housewives of Atlanta situation as to why she was suspended, allegedly, indefinitely, possibly fired. Definitely the TGIF being on hiatus. Did Al make a complaint to HR? He clearly wasn't happy about it. And him going to grieve to Funky Dineva wasn't going to change the situation. And him being someone who doesn't come from the entertainment field but comes from the corporate world, he definitely has so much experience with that. He did not have a legal background. He was never an attorney. And again, I do find it a little bit ironic and a bit creepy and strange, to be honest with you, but it's his right to do so if that's what he wants to do. And he sees it as being something that's fun. But doing this judge thing when his ex-wife that he doesn't really want to talk much about is a court show judge and is an attorney is just a little bit creepy and weird to me, but I digress. I don't have an issue with it. It's just like, wow, really? But is it possible that he is in talks with HR and they are doing an investigation, and that's why the show has been put on hiatus? And ironically, they were going to be having a break coming up anyway, so now it's like, well, let's just go ahead and put it on hiatus before that happens so that we can have our hands clean and clear with the situation so that we will not have a cause for being sued possibly by Al because we allowed a hostile work environment situation to continue when he has been feeling uncomfortable. I don't know. But I just wanted to share this because I thought it was a little bit ironic, and we'll see what comes of it. We don't know until it's official. People could come out and say, oh, they have the exclusives or whatever. But I did hear that Claudia, she made a comment on another YouTuber's YouTube channel. I think maybe Make It Make Sense. But to say basically that to just confirm some things when it comes to Al and how he had been going to the higher ups about him and about meaning Armand and her. I don't know. But anyway, guys, I wanted to share it with you and get your thoughts. So let me know what you're thinking. Thanks for being here, liking, and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.